always reminds me to breathe. Peace and blessings to you. Thank you for joining. I am your holistic nurse, Casey Pacheco, and I thank you for joining in with me. So, I came across the most fascinating piece of technology and just so futuristic, and I just grabbed this one of the vice presidents and I said, I have to interview you. You have to tell my network about this. If I told them, they probably won't believe me. So I have him and I'm going to invite him in. His name is Ali Migdawi and he is from Morocco. Did I get that correctly?
Yes,
Morocco,
indeed.
Africa? Okay, so we are here because you are part of a program and it's called The Great Discovery. You mind telling, first of all, before we talk about The Great Discovery, you mind just telling us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your background leading up into The Great Discovery?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much for having me on with you. I've been in the business community for just about 17 years, and I've had the privilege and the opportunity to do about $2 billion of sales with six different organizations. I've taken a couple of companies public. I've written a couple of books. I have a couple of podcasts, vlogs. We either, between my wife and I, co-own, or have equity in 14 different companies. And all of that is 100% because of what the Great Discovery has done for me. See, prior to 2017, I was an online entrepreneur trying to figure things out. I've had the traditional business run and I've done well with it. I had some successful exit strategies, but at the same exact time, economy was shifting, social media was taking over. And while I was doing okay by the measures of the masses, it was a split fork in the road for me. And I was either going to go the route of the coach, that everybody's a coach or a guru, or figure out something that will be long-term sustainable that can live without me. And the Great Discovery at the time was just a course that was introduced by Six Sigma Management Institutes. Some context. Six Sigma Management Institute has been in existence for 39 years, has done business and consulted and worked with 87 Fortune 100 companies, I believe 1.6 or 1.2 rather million learners, meaning individual corporate executives, heads of departments, analytics have gone through Six Sigma over the last almost 4 decades. So it's done greatness. The Army used it, the Navy used it. But what the Great Discovery was becoming, or was introduced as, this is for everyone. So you don't have to be part of a corporation. You can have this education. I was lucky amongst a very, very small group of people that have gone through the course. And I've been mentored by Kathy Lawson, the Chief Knowledge Officer of the Great Discovery, and Sandra Harry, the co-CEO. And it changed my life forever. I've never, ever, ever had a corporate role in my own companies or anything like that prior to that. And all those accolades that most people refer to was 100% because the Great Discovery has taught me how to elevate my game plan, how to operate as a true C-level executive, how to be the most effective, meaning I get things done, and the most efficient, meaning I get it done fast. And that led to the, thank God, success we have.
I hate to cut you off, but you are talking a lot of business. So I want to break it down for the audience because I'm just thinking, okay, I have no business experience, but I am a professional nurse, so I have experience in my field, and I have a course. And you're saying that this Great Discovery, it changes the way you think about running a business? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. That is exactly. As a matter of fact, when the philosophy was created 39 years ago, it was just for Fortune 100 companies. And the chairman of the board of GE at the time told Michael Harry, the creator and the genius architect of Six Sigma, he said, I would pay you just to know how you think. And that created the second generation of Six Sigma, where instead of just consulting and running and organizing companies, he started teaching C-level executives how to think. Well, that's that very same process just now for everyday average individuals, not just for already established billion-dollar companies.
Okay. So we getting here this Great Discovery course. It teaches you how to think as a business owner, as a corporate business owner. So we're moving from small business, playing small, to large scale if we want to scale our business, right?
Not only just that, but for anything that you would need. In other words, so I'll give you an example. Recently, I have taken on mixed martial arts. I've never ever in my life done anything, no combat sports. I've never even gotten into a fight, not even with my siblings. I don't do that. But I wanted to try something different and something new. And one of the requirements for my age, I needed to lose 50 pounds in order to be able to compete. Well, guess what I did? I used the great discovery to identify what is the milestone. And once I identify the milestone, I identify what is the core values that is going to drive me to always sustain a specific standard. And then I identified what are the restraining forces, meaning what is blocking me from losing 50 pounds. And then you do critical thinking, and then you identify what is the action step to overcome those restraining forces in order for me to maintain the core values that are going to lead me to my milestones. And then you create catalysts, the driving forces that are going to push you forward to create that. Everything that I just told you right now in a split 30 seconds, that is the way of thinking of the great discovery. If you understand it, and obviously the course is, much more elaborate, you'll be able to do what I did right now. Like, you can tell me anything at any point, and I'll immediately in my head, what's the milestone? What's the restraining force? What's the action steps? What are the core values? I will create it, and I will just fill in blank, and I'll give you a game plan within 30 seconds. And that's what I mean by the most effective and efficient. You want to buy a home. You're going to identify a milestone, buy a home. Okay, core values, no matter what, we want it to be this big. We want it at this price. We want it at this zip code. Okay, great. Those are our core values. What is our restraining forces? We don't have a down payment. Okay, let's do critical thinking. What are we going to do to get the down payment? Maybe we should work a little bit more, but maybe we're going to have to get more. So you're identifying the driving forces and the restraining forces for critical thinking, and then you do a list. And just like that, you're able to figure out step 1, step 2, step 4, and so on and so forth. And you're just working it backwards. That is the great discovery at its essence, at a nutshell, at its finest. And not only I lost 50 pounds, my relationship with my wife, we use the great discovery to identify what is helping our marriage to be strong, what is holding our marriage to having issues, what are our standards or core values, what is the milestone that we want to achieve. We live the great discovery. It isn't just for business, it's a way of life. And you can apply it for business, for personal, for health, for weight loss, for retirement, whatever you desire.
I really like it because it's like a systemized way of logical thinking. And I'm creative. I don't think logically. I just go and feel it.
You just described it. Like when people ask us, that is literally, it's a logical way of critical thinking. That's literally what we describe it as. If you embed yourself the way you operate with that new way of thinking, you can do anything that you put your mind into.
Well, I think it's so powerful. And why I have you on as a guest is because I talk a lot about working smarter, not harder, and using feminine energy to attract. And so sometimes we have to operate in the masculine, where you have to think logically. And in those periods, if you don't have a system of thinking, it's easy to vacillate and actually not see the progress. So I think the great discovery is really good. But the thing that I wanted to bring you on to talk about as well is not just the course of the great discovery, but this platform that is created. It allows people to create courses, people
Right.
who are experts, which I think is wonderful because there are a lot of people who they are experts in their field, but they have maxed out on price. They are not going to get paid anymore. And this is a really amazing way for them to monetize their knowledge and expertise.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So if you have a message, if you have stories, or if you have any skill that you want to teach, a passion, if you will, what we created is an e-learning community where we have 2 categories of individuals that are part of this community. We have the content creators and we have the learners. Think about it as Netflix, right? You have the movie creators and you have the watchers. And what is the common denominator? They created a platform where everybody comes in to either sell their movies and their shows or buy their movies and their shows, whether it's a subscription model or whether purchasing premium movies and whatnot, like an Amazon Prime or Hulu does sometimes. There's the free stuff and there's the premium stuff. Same exact thing in here. we created an e-learning community where there are people already in our community looking to consume content to elevate themselves in many different areas. So whether they consume the Great Discovery course or your course that may be about something specific. And we have so many different categories, from natural healing to the secrets of veganism, to education, to networking, to business, to health, to working out, music. There's a course of saxophone that just went up, like how to play saxophone for the first time. And so what we've also done, because this is not a new concept to have an e-learning community, we also added artificial intelligence to the actual course. So if you want to and you desire, and if it makes sense for you, you can use this artificial intelligence to translate your content to up to 100 languages. Now, think about that. What would you have as far as an international reach if you can speak 100 languages? Now, many people will be like, well, there are services that I can dub my voice, or there are voiceover artists. I am not talking about that. What this technology does, it keeps your real voice, your actual real voice. Your lips are going to move in the native language of the translated language. So by default, I speak 5 international languages. So I can talk to you right now and say, hi, how are you? It is nice seeing you. And I can say, hola, ¿cómo estás? Es muy buen para verte. Or I can say, salut, c'est très bien de vous voir aujourd'hui. Bonjour. See, I can speak from French to Spanish to English naturally. I keep my voice. So just like this experience that you had, imagine that you can do it in 100 languages while maintaining your real voice and your actual lips are moving in that native language. Your reachability is going to be incredible internationally, but more importantly is the relationship that you're going to develop. See, many companies want to go and expand internationally. One of the things that I consult and I tell many companies that I've taken overseas, you will not be able to succeed overseas for the fact that there is a linguistic translation, but there is also cultural translation. And if I feel that you just translated it in a language so I can give you a credit card, I don't feel like you care about me or relate to me. But if you went ahead and you gave me a real you that speaks my language, maintaining your mannerism in my language, I 100% will connect with you at a much higher level. And this does exactly just that.
Absolutely. And this community, what is so remarkable about it, it's not just the reach, but it goes the opposite way. Because if Spanish is my native language, or Portuguese, or I speak French, I can translate it to now reach an English
Right.
population.
Correct.
That is absolutely. And then the pricing, how does that work?
Yeah, so from a price perspective, I mean, first of all, we have as little as free. We have a program where you can try the community for 14 days at no cost. And then it goes to between $47 all the way to $698, and depending on what you want and what's right for you, right? So not everybody's gonna have the same need. So we've created multiple ways for somebody to take advantage. But what I will tell you, though, if we've done something that we adjust our price based on local regional economies. So if you go to the website, it identifies your IP address. Even if you're using a VPN trying to hide your IP, it will identify that you are in a specific region of the world, and the price will be adjusted based on that region. So if I were to put Indonesia, for example, it will make the price so much lower. If I put Brazil, the price will go so much lower, because it is based on CPI, on Consumer Product Production Index that is in the local market. Because $1 here in the United States in value is 10 dirhams or $10 in Morocco. So, if we don't make that adjustments, we may be asking somebody to give us their full month worth of income. And we've done that again because we understood from a strategic, this is the power of Six Sigma, right? Like, you got to think big. It's not about networking or going out and just enrolling the world. No, it's about creating something that's going to last forever and truly create good value for the end consumer. And that's what we've done. And that's why we adjust our prices globally.
So you have a lot of YouTube learners like me, and they say, well, people put their courses on YouTube. But what I'm hearing from you is that this is a learning platform that allows you to, your content. So even people who have YouTube content, they can put it on this platform and translate it to many different languages where people could learn their skills and talents and abilities. And they can, I feel as it's empowering too. It's empowering for the people in different countries as well, because they could share their content and
Sure.
monetize as well. Now, some people might say, I have like Kajabi or I have courses up, but they're not really selling because I don't have the time to sell, or I'm not really good at sales. What will that be the case with your platform?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. So two things. For the YouTube conversation, right? So you can continue doing what you're doing, right? But if you're watching this video right now and you're like, you already know what you're doing on YouTube obviously is not working out to the level or not working out at all, right? For those who are also going to say, well, there's a lot of free content on YouTube. You're right, and I tell every single person, your competition is not another content creator. It is free content that is out there in the marketplace. So that's a whole different conversation. And what I tell every single person, just a side note, you need to 10 times the content that you're doing on YouTube for free right now. You got to go 10 times bigger, higher, more, because it is a saturated place. You got to be louder than everybody else and market better than everybody else. But in terms for those who are like, well, I have a Kajabi, right? Like I have my own platform. Congratulations. How many affiliates do you have in that platform? How many learners already are waiting for you to drop the next course and saying, I want to buy? How many of me are available to you to say, I'm going to put you on a press release once a month. I'm going to put you on a podcast every time you have a new content. I'm going to put you on a vlog every time you have content. Heck, every time you have a new course, we have a special Wednesday night that we do. As a matter of fact, we do it every single week. Wednesday night at 8 p.m., we bring the new content creator and we're like, okay, Casey, you got 15, 20 minutes. Go for it. I'm going to invite everybody in the company. Let us know why is your course as amazing as it is. And then we endorse you. We tell so there's a strategic partnership in making sure that our community knows about your content, because the problem for 99.99999% of the content creators out there, your problem is not that you don't have good, valuable information or virtual products. Your problem is lack of visibility. No one knows you exist. And for those who know you exist, they don't believe you have enough juice, enough credibility. So you're going to have a company that has created billions and billions and billions of dollars and multi-billion-dollar companies that is going to sit right next to you and tell everybody, yeah, she's that good. You need to buy her stuff. That is something that is definitely powerful, and you cannot get on YouTube or on Kajabi.
That's amazing. I have a 3-year-old, Ali, and I see this being the future of education. Because if you look at it, some in education, they're paid very low, but their value is very high. So I'm
Sure.
thinking teachers all over the world, they may be able to translate. We may be able to tap, like my son's teacher could be in Africa or China or New Zealand, and they may resonate, and we won't even have to worry about language barriers.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, as a future, this is really cool.
I will say this. So we do have TGD Kids, which is a children's version of The Great Discovery. My 6.5 and 3.5 cannot go to sleep without going through the TGD Kids books. They're animated children's nights bed stories that have the Great Discovery core values embedded in it. My 6.5-year-old is an actual ambassador of TGD Kids. He does a bunch of videos all the way around it. So there is a space for children as well if they want to kind of get into that space. I think 1 or 2 districts in Florida here in the United States have adopted TGD Kids books into their schools. So yeah, we're going to be able to impact the children with this education. And yes, of course, God willing, the curriculums could be in. I mean, I can only tell you right now, my vision is there will be a lot of charter schools and independent tutoring programs that are going to be using our platform and make sure that their content and education is available for the whole entire world. And even for teens, by the way, we do have TGD Teens. It's a teens program to help teenagers identify their, again, milestone core values, what are your restraining forces, what are your action steps in order to figure out what to do after high school. Because unfortunately, in our school system, specifically here in the United States, just send the child to college because he thinks he wants to be an engineer, but you give him $100,000 loan, you just ruin his life for the remainder of his life. He has no idea how to manage money. And 68% of students in the United States change major within their first year of college. 95% don't work in the field they graduate from.
Mhm.
but you still put them on $100,000 debt.
That's true. And it's
Yeah.
not right. And I don't think that it will continue to happen,
Yeah.
especially with AI. There's so much technology, there's so much information out there. I am so excited. But you know what? I have you on and I want to just ask you, as an entrepreneur, what advice, what encouragement will you give to the viewers? People who are new to entrepreneurship, who are now starting and everything seems, whoa, I can make some money here, I can make some money there. What would you say as advice to them?
Yeah, I would say, and I know I have like a minute or two, so I'm gonna try my very, very best to keep it at that. Here's what I would say: entrepreneurship is not a lottery ticket. Entrepreneurship is not a hope it works out. Entrepreneurship is not a success. Entrepreneurship requires a lot of failure before you succeed. So don't quit your job just because you figured out how to make $5,000 a month in a network marketing gig. Make sure that you understand that it's a lifetime educational system forever and ever and ever and ever again. Many of my heroes in business are still working very, very hard. So yeah, I understand working smart, but I want to work harder in a very smart way. I don't want to compromise my life with my family, but I figured out how to include my family in all of my businesses. So I'm always with my family and always having fun. So just make sure that you understand there's a checklist of failure that you have to go through before you start making the checklist of success, or the bucket list, as we call it. But unless you are in a very good place and at peace with the fact that it's going to require a lot of work and a lifetime of education, entrepreneurship might not be for you. So I'm telling you this not to be pessimistic or negative or scare you. I'm telling you just simply and simply so I can set up the proper expectations for you, because it is not easy. If it was easy, the whole country will be very successful and super, super rich all over the world, as a matter of fact. So do it right or don't do it at all.
I
Casey?
love it. I love it. And that failure part, I think sometimes it's really difficult because we don't like we want to get it right. But
Yep.
I think this is where the great discovery can come in really well for those who have a full-time job and they want to try out, something else. They can do a course, put a course and see how it goes, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
So if you are interested in this, I will be leaving little links as far as what the platform looks like and how the translation works. But if you are interested, please check my links down below. Check it out. You can use it for 14 days. It's for free. And if you are here in Florida, we're gonna have on the 14th and the 15th, we're gonna have
15th and 16th.
15th and 16th. Yes, it's right here. And I'm saying it wrong. The 15th and 16th, we're gonna have the official launch of this program. So you have the opportunity to come in right now at the ground floor because it's gonna go up from there. Well, thank you, Ali. Thank you so much for coming in. And I know you're a busy CEO running multiple companies, but I am grateful for this time that you have spent here with me and the viewers. And hopefully we all get to see you in March.
God willing. Appreciate you.
Okay, thank you. Well, I hope everything goes well and we will see how many people we can bring in to do this wonderful, wonderful course.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining.